Hello and welcome to Tuesday's Tales. It's great to be with you today. Tonight, our story is Millions of Cats. Now, this story you've probably never heard of because I'd never heard of it before either. I found this book on this list, 100 Great Children's Books Over 100 Years, by the New York Public Library, which obviously is always a good choice for when you want to find out a good book. This book was on that list. It was written in 1928, and it is such a sweet little story, especially for us cat-loving people like myself. So, let's get started. Millions of Cats by Wanda Gog. Once upon a time, there was a very old man and a very old woman. They lived in a nice, clean house, which had flowers all around it, except where the door was. But they couldn't be happy because they were very lonely. Apparently someone didn't think this page had enough color on it. If only we had a cat, sighed the very old woman. A cat? Asked the very old man. Yes, a sweet little fluffy cat, said the very old woman. I will get you a cat, my dear, said the very old man. And he set out over the hills to look for one. He climbed over the sunny hills. He trudged through the cool valleys. He walked a long, long time, and at last he came to a hill which was quite covered in cats. Cats here, cats there, cats and kittens everywhere, hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. Oh my. I'd say so. Wow. Where is this place? Oh, cried the old man joyfully. Now I can choose the prettiest cat and take it home with me. So he chose one. It was white. But just as he was about to leave, he saw another one, all black and white, and it seemed just as pretty as the first. So he took this one also. Just then he saw a fuzzy gray kitten way over here, which was every bit as pretty as the others, so he took it too. And now he saw one way down in a corner, which he thought too lovely to leave, so he took this too. You gonna run out of arms. And just then, over here, the very old man found a kitten, which was black and very beautiful. It would be a shame to leave that one, said the very old man. So he took it. And now, over there, he saw a cat, which had brown and yellow stripes like a baby tiger. I simply must take it, cried the very old man, and he did. So it happened that every time the very old man looked up, he saw another cat, which was so pretty he could not bear to leave it, and before he knew it, he had chosen them all. Oh dear. And so he went back over the sunny hills and down through the cool valleys to show all the pretty kittens to the very old woman. It was very funny to see those hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of cats following him. Now, as someone who owns a cat, I don't know how possible that would have been if he didn't have treats. But okay. Then they came to a pond. We are thirsty, cried the hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. Well, here's a great deal of water, said the very old man. Each cat took a sip of water, and the pond was gone. Oh, here we go. Okay, here, this makes more sense now. "We're hungry," said the hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats. "There is much grass on the hills," said the very old man. Grass? What? Each cat ate a mouthful of grass, and not a blade was left. Pretty soon the very old woman saw them coming. "My dear," she cried, "what are you doing? I asked for one little cat. And what do I see? Cats here, cats there, cats and kittens everywhere. Hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats." "But we can never feed them all," said the very old woman. "They will eat us out of house and home." "I never thought of that," said the very old man. "What shall we do?" The very old woman thought for a while, and then she said, "I know. We will let the cats decide which ones we should keep." Oh dear. "Oh yes," said the very old man, and he called to the cats, "Which of you is the prettiest?" "I am! I am!" "No, I am!" "No, I am the prettiest!" "I am!" "No, I am! I am! I am!" cried the hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions voices, for each cat thought itself the prettiest. And they began to quarrel. Oh dear. That's a cat fight. Oh, Lord. And look, here's the little old man and the little old woman running away from the cat fight. Oh dear. They bit and scratched and clawed each other and made such great noise that the very old man and the very old woman ran into the house as fast as they could. They did not like such quarreling, but after a while the noise stopped, and the very old man and the very old woman peeped out the window to see what had happened. They could not see a single cat. Are they magic? Did they go away? "I think they must have eaten each other all up." "Oh, Lord," said the very old woman. "It's too bad. But look," said the very old man, and he pointed to a bunch of high grass. In it sat one of the little frightened kittens. They went out and picked it up. It was thin and scraggly. "Poor little kitty," said the very old woman. "Dear little kitty," said the very old man. "How does it happen that you were not eaten up with all those hundreds and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of cats?" "Oh, I'm just a very homely little cat," said the kitten. "So when you asked who was the prettiest, I didn't say anything. So nobody bothered about me." They took the kitten into the house, where the very old woman gave it a warm bath and brushed its fur until it was soft and shiny. Oh, that's nice. Every day they gave it plenty of milk, and soon it grew nice and plump. Aww, now he's a big kitty. Aww. "And it is a very pretty cat after all," said the very old woman. "It is the most beautiful cat in the whole world," said the very old man. "I ought to know, for I've seen hundreds of cats, thousands of cats, millions and billions and trillions of cats, and not one was as pretty as this one." Oh, look. It's their wedding pictures up there. Aw. That is so cute. Aw. The end. That was a nice, sweet book. So now, if you hadn't heard of it before, now you have. All right. Bible story for today is called The Rescue Plan. It's from Genesis 22. And we'll be reading it today from the Jesus Storybook Bible. This one is actually called The Present, but it's about the secret rescue plan. God knew that his secret rescue plan could not work if Abraham did not trust him completely. God had to make sure that Abraham would do whatever he asked. So a few years later, God asked Abraham to give him a present. Abraham liked giving presents to God. He gave God his animals. They were called sacrifices, and they were a way to say, "I love you," to God. But this time, God didn't want a lamb or a goat. God wanted Abraham to give him something more, much more. He wanted Abraham to give his son, his only son, the son he loved, Isaac. Put his boy on the altar and kill him. As the sacrifice? How could God want him to do such a terrible thing? Abraham didn't understand, but he knew that God was his father who loved him, and so Abraham trusted him. Early the next morning, Abraham and Isaac set off. They climbed the steep, stony trail up the mountain. Isaac carried the wood on his back. His father carried his knife and the coals. "Papa," Isaac said, "we have everything we need, except we forgot the lamb for the sacrifice." "God will give us the lamb, my son," Abraham said. They built an altar and laid the wood on top. Abraham asked his son to climb on top of the wood. Isaac didn't understand, but he knew his father loved him, and so he trusted him. He climbed up onto the altar, and Abraham tied his boy to the wood. Isaac didn't struggle or try to run away. He just laid there quietly and didn't make a sound. Everything was ready. Abraham took the knife. Tears were filling up his eyes. Pain was filling up his heart. His hand was shaking. He lifted the knife high into the air. "Stop!" God said. "Don't hurt the boy. I want him to live and not die. I know now that you love me because you would have given me your only son." Abraham felt his heart leap with joy. He unbound Isaac and folded him in his arms. Great sobs shook the old man's whole body. Scalding tears filled his eyes, and a long time they stayed there like that in each other's arms, the boy and his dad. Suddenly, Abraham saw a ram caught in some brambles, the sacrifice. God had given them what they needed just in time. The ram would die so Isaac didn't have to, and so Abraham sacrificed the ram instead of his son. And they sat there on the mountaintop, watching the embers of the fire die in the cool night air, the stars above them sparkling in the velvet sky. God helped Abraham and Isaac understand something. God wanted his people to live, not die. God wanted his people to be rescued, not to be punished, but they must trust him. One day, someone will be born into your family, God promised them, and he will bring happiness to the whole world. God was getting ready to give the whole world a wonderful present. It would be God's way to tell his people, "I love you." Many years later, another son would climb another hill, carrying wood on his back. Like Isaac, he would trust his father and do what his father asked. He wouldn't struggle or run away. Who was he? God's son, his only son, the son he loved, the Lamb of God. The end. So, thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you next week. Bye!